Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Bachelors in Information Technology information session. My name is Sanjeev. I'll be your host for today's session, and I'm so happy to have all of you here this morning with me. How are you all doing? You all doing okay? Everything is fine? Yeah? Excellent. Glad to see that you all are doing fine. Such a fine day as well. Might be a rainy day for some of you all, right? The weather is really changing up these days. So I'm glad that you all joined us today. And let's see what we have in store for you guys today. Now, about the speakers, I'm your speaker for today, right? I'm Sanjeev, and we do actually have other persons involved with this program. We have Mr. Rafi Raghunath, who's the Executive Director of Cts College. He can be reached at that number and, of course, that email. We have Mr. Aaron Naris, who is not here with us at this time, right, due to other work commitments. And he is usually in these sessions, and he's your program manager for the Bachelors in Information Technology. He can be reached at that number and that email address. And I'm your host for today. I'm Sanjeev, and I'm your program administrator for the Bachelors in Information Technology. And I can be reached at 286-0862. And of course, you can email us at bsc@cts college. So when any email is sent to bsc@ctscollege.com, it's received by all three of us, right? And of course, these are individual email addresses as well, right? So before we actually start our session, I just wanted to make sure that you guys are fine, you all are warmed up. So I have a couple of questions for you all, a couple of icebreakers. You all ready? This is where you get to interact and have a chat. You can feel free to unmute as well and answer some of these questions, or you can send your responses in the chat. So you all ready for the first question? Yeah? All right. Excellent. So let's get into this, right? So our first question, why was the mobile phone wearing glasses? Why was the mobile phone wearing glasses? Just a little disclaimer, these might be IT puns, just saying. Why was the mobile phone wearing glasses? Anyone knows? Who wants to give us a response? Go right ahead. No one? Not even one person wants to guess what it is? Okay, I'll tell you. It's quite simple. Why was the mobile phone wearing glasses? Because it lost all of its contacts. I warned you all, it is IT puns. Well, yeah. All right. Moving on to the second question. You all ready for this one? What kind of computer sings the best? What kind of computer sings the best? This one is pretty straightforward. You'll have to get this one. Let's see who'll get this one. Adele, Chantel, excellent, you got it. So which computer sings the best? Adele, right? Adele is a singer, all right? And we have one more question. You all ready for this one? Why did the PowerPoint presentation decide to cross the road? Why did the PowerPoint presentation decide to cross the road? Anyone with this one? To get to the other slide. Excellent. Great job. Glad to see that you all are getting it there as well. All right. So that was our little icebreaker. I'm hoping that, you all are much more, comfortable with the presence of me and, of course, the other persons within the session. And let's get into the actual session and the information on Bachelors in Information Technology. So the common question is being asked, why study for a Bachelor's in Information Technology? Why study for a bachelor's degree on the whole, right? Does anyone want to suggest some reasons why persons study for a bachelor's in information technology or for a bachelor's degree in general? I'm pretty sure that you're here for a reason, right? You want your bachelor's degree for a reason. So there must be a great number of reasons why you are interested in studying for a BSc. To gain more knowledge, that's excellent. For better job opportunities, that's also excellent. Further your career, we're having a lot of those types of responses, right? So I'm going to list all of the reasons why people generally study for a bachelor's in information technology. For promotional purposes, for career change, for increased salary, which is a big deal when it comes to jobs, right? And of course, starting and growing your own business, right? So rather than working for a company, you can create your own company. And of course, personal achievements for just for the sake of having a bachelor's degree as well and knowing about information technology. And of course, you're going to get practical experience in IT. It's going to basically support whatever experience that you have and further it, right? And of course, it's going to enhance your employability as well, right? So I'm going to present a case for you all, furthermore to the increased salary aspect of studying for a bachelor's in information technology. So here we did some research, and here is the general salaries for an OJT depending on the qualification that you possess, right? So we have on your right-hand side, we have the CSEC or CXC qualifications, and this rate here is a monthly rate. Right? These rates here are monthly rates, and it is a general, it's more like an average. So persons working employed as an OJT in any IT field, right? On-job training, trainee, intern, whatever the case might be. With CSEC, you're gonna get roughly $3,000 per month. Persons with CAPE or a diploma might likely get $4,300 per month, roughly. Persons with an associate degree would likely get roughly $5,500. Persons with a bachelor's degree will get roughly $7,500. So that's a big jump from $5,500 to $7,500, roughly. That's a big jump, right? And in terms of your master's degree, of course, you're going to get a lot more than the bachelor's degrees, which would be likely your next step. And you'll be getting roughly 8,700 or even more. But these are typically like an average of monthly salaries if you work at an OJT position, right? So consider these. We're going to compare now with that of the CSEC versus the bachelor's degree, right? So we're going to look at the difference between the CSEC and the bachelor's degree. So let's have a look. This is a case for pursuing your study. How much more would you earn with a bachelor's degree versus CXC qualifications per month, right? So we had identified previously that persons with CSEC work for roughly $3,000 and persons with a bachelor's degree roughly work for like $7,500, right? So this is where we're going to find the difference. We're going to find out how much more you work for ultimately in 1 year and of course 40 years. So we're going to take that bachelor's degree figure over here, which is the 7,500 roughly, and minus the CSEC qualification, well, the salary you will receive through, well, having a CSEC qualification. And the difference is roughly $4,500, $4,537.50. So that's how much more you will be earning every single month if you have a bachelor's degree rather than having CSEC qualifications or CXC qualifications. But how much more would you earn in 1 year? So let's take this figure and multiply that by 12. This is the excess that you'll be receiving if you have a bachelor's degree. And for 12 months, getting this amount extra, it comes up to $54,450 more. So for a year, just by having a bachelor's degree, you get $54,000 more. That's a lot. And let's look at typically what would be a lifetime, which would be roughly 40 years of you working within your industry. That would be roughly 54,450 multiplied by 40 years. And that works up to be roughly $2,178,000. This is an investment, as we usually tell students. You put in your money and then you go out into the workforce and you're able to get your money back, right? This degree roughly costs 56,000 TT dollars, right? And you're earning that in 1 year. You're earning that in excess in 1 year, roughly $54,450. So you are making back. This is an investment, guys, right? And this is not the final salary. This is how much you will be earning more in a lifetime, right? So you're all much more motivated now in terms of how it would work out for you in the long run in terms of your salaries. And that is just this note, guys. This is for an OJT position. Persons who have completed this bachelor's degree have moved on to places in maybe Canada, in the US, in the UK, and they have held down much better positions than an OJT position or an intern position, right? So the salary might be a bit different for you in your case, and it's definitely much better than what is shown here. So this is just a baseline, a standard that we're working with to give you a better idea of what could be. Yeah, so don't you all think this is interesting? Let's see how you all think about this. What you all think about this? You're supporting the idea? Interesting. Excellent. right? So moving forward, let's move forward. All right, Sandra, seeing that you have your hand raised.
I do apologize. I chose the wrong emoji.
Okay, not a problem. Thank you. Okay, so moving forward, let's have a look at the jobs of tomorrow. And this was specifically taken from the World Economic Forum, or WEF. And the WEF specified that the workforce is automating. And because of the automation, it's going to displace roughly 85 million jobs in the next 5 years. So think about it. 85 million persons likely would not have a job in the next 5 years. That's a crazy amount. And it really kind of started happening around the time of COVID-19. That would be in 2020, roughly. So the COVID-19 recession created a double disruption scenario for workers. Companies started adopting technologies, with a 43% of businesses surveyed through the World Economic Forum survey indicated that they are going to set to reduce their workforce because of the technology integration, right? So what that basically means is that for persons, for companies, for establishments that have a really high workforce, they are looking now to see where they can cut back and where they can place IT systems to basically better that process, right? And it can be seen in many industries right now. It does not necessarily have to be like a company. Persons are doing it in grocery stores, persons are doing it elsewhere, right? And on your right-hand side, you should see a table, and we have the jobs that are typically increasing in demand as well as decreasing in demand. And there is a trend here. I'm not sure if you all can see it, but let's look at the ones that are decreasing in demand, which is the column on your extreme right-hand side, right? So in terms of the ones decreasing in demand, you have stuff like data entry clerks, you have administrative and executive secretaries, we have accounting, bookkeeping, and payroll clerks. These jobs, these job descriptions, or basically where they really fall, we can categorize them as, basically it requires human interaction, a lot more human interaction. And these are typically the jobs that, persons working within an establishment, they could be replaced by an IT system or something that could do it much better than them, much faster than them, and it's a much more affordable. So you don't have to pay a salary, you just pay one time to implement the system, and you have that route going for you, right? So it's a much better investment than rather hiring persons to do those jobs for you, right? So let's look at the ones that are increasing in demand, which would be the column on your left-hand side. We have more data analysts and scientists, we have AI and machine learning specialists, big data specialists, and the keyword there is specialists. So the ones that are increasing and in demand would be IT specialists, IT professionals, basically. So they're not looking for persons to do smaller jobs. They're looking for persons who can manage IT systems and really work, right, within the IT industry. So we have the rising in demand, which will be IT specialists, and the dropping in demand would be the ones that require much more human interaction, right? So that's a bit of insight into what the job market would look like within the next 5 years, right? And I mean, it could be subject to change, right? But with technology, it constantly gets better, it increases. Jobs would likely pop up here and there, and cloud computing now being one of the one of the major aspects of IT that's going out there, right? So you all think that this is also interesting, apart from the actual factor of the salary in terms of the job market, it tends to get a bit more serious. Yeah. Excellent. So moving forward, we're going to look at why study with the University of Bedfordshire, right? Now, your degree, although it's offered you're studying at Cts College, your bachelor's degree comes from the University of Bedfordshire, which is a UK-based university, right? So we are partnered with them. The degree that you'll be getting is from them, right? And it's internationally recognized as well. So why study with the University of Bedfordshire? There are a key number of reasons why. So firstly, the University of Bedfordshire is a modern, innovative university with a heritage of top quality education going back for more than 100 years. So they have been in the education game for more than a century. More than a century, right? That's crazy. In terms of students, more than 20,000 students from over 120 countries are involved with programs within the University of Bedfordshire, right? That's a lot of students. And they have 5 campuses in the UK, right? These are the campuses here, with the bigger ones being Luton and Bedford. And They have education partners in China, the Middle East, Europe, Southeast Asia, and of course, Trinidad and Tobago. And the internationally renowned league table has placed the University of Bedfordshire in the top 6% of the best universities in the world. That in itself is a great honor. And of course, something much more honorable, the University of Bedfordshire is actually the winner of the Queen's Anniversary Prize in 2013. This is the highest form of national recognition for the universities in the UK, period, right? So definitely, by hearing all of this, you would definitely want to get involved with the University of Bedfordshire, start studying there, and this is why you all are here, right? So that was a bit of insight into the University of Bedfordshire, but why study at CTS College? Right? So apart from the University of Bedfordshire and their upsides, right? Why study at CTS College? Here's a bit about CTS College. Our mission at CTS College is to provide high quality and relevant educational opportunities whilst promoting excellence in staff and students. So our students are our priority. We have built our name on student support. CTS College is a private institution, of course, with over 22 years in the education industry. We are ACTT recognized and registered, and CTS College offers a wide range of programs from preschool all the way up to diplomas, bachelor's, and master's degree. We have preschool, secondary school, we have primary school as well, and it takes you all the way up to the diploma level, the masters, the bachelors, and so on, right? And we have a wide range of professional development programs, courses, IT certifications, and so on, right? So definitely your experience here is much more than just the academics as well. When you get to meet our staff and you communicate with our program managers and you sit into classes and listen to your lecturers, it's really a great experience here. Like I said, we have built our name on student support. Furthermore, we are the winner of over 106 ABE World Prizes since 2007. So back in the day until now, and we are continuing to win these world prizes, right? Like each and every year through ABE. We are also the winner of 47 university awards with the University of Hertfordshire, a university that we still offer programs with. And we also are the winner of 2 ABMA Academic Achievement Awards. And furthermore, we won 11 ACTT awards, 6 for student support services, 3 for excellence in established QMS, and 2 for excellence in teaching and learning. So we are, of course, we have been out there in the game for quite some time, the educational game that is, and we have been receiving awards. We have been recognized throughout Trinidad and Tobago, and of course regionally as well. And now we are partnering with universities from around the world to provide much more programs. And of course, we're increasing our student support services to make sure that you all are well sort of once you enroll in courses and programs at CTS College. Right. So a bit about the experience with delivering the bachelor's in information technology, right? So whilst we offer a lot of programs, this is our experience and the things that we notice, and well, a bit of history with us delivering the bachelor's in information technology. So CTS College has over 15 years of experience in delivering bachelor programs, and the average pass rate of over 90% per module for the BSc in IT. We had over 2,000 applicants and over 1,750 bachelor's graduates with 500 first-class honors. So we have all of those graduates, and 500 of those graduates, and even more, they continue to come out with first-class honors, right? And of course, we have graduates employed in various sectors and in various industries at different levels. Like I mentioned earlier, we have persons with this bachelor's degree that went to places in the UK, in Canada, and of course in the US to either further their studies, to get their master's, or to actually seek employment. And they held down really good positions as well. And we tend to communicate with them from time to time, right? So that's just some insight in your experience with, well, our experience with delivering the bachelor's in information technology. And here's a bit of insight with how our classes, in terms of our classes and our pass rates and so on. So for level 4, which would be the 2 blue ones at the top, we have 2 units there. and our lecturers are there, and our pass rate for those two units there are 96 and 99% respectively, with 58 and 88 students scoring within the mark range of 71 to 100, and the rest of them scoring like from 60 to 69, a couple of them scoring from 40 to 49, and we actually work with these students to get them up to par as well for level 5. This is basically our recent results. So for systems development and modern database practices offered with the lecturer, Mr. Karan Ramgani, students had, well, roughly there was a 95% pass rate, with 39 students scoring from 70 to 100%, and really 2 students getting a referral. So they have another opportunity to retake their exams or redo their assignments, and only 1 student scored from 60 to 69%. We can keep on going on and on. You can actually see for level 6 that our pass rate is 100% for all of the modules that we offered for that semester, right? With all of the students scoring really high from like 60 to 69. We had maybe 1 from 50 to 59 as well. And the majority of the class, like the 34 and the 52 and the 29, scoring 70 to 100%, right? So this just goes to show that our lecturers are out there. We are here to help you in terms of anything with regards to the assignments, anything at all that we can do for you, just to get you up to par, just to make sure that you achieve what you sought out to achieve. All right. So, question? Okay. Guys, please keep your mics muted just to avoid any like unnecessary feedback and stuff like that, right? We would have a question, like a specific part of the presentation where we get to hear from you with your questions and so on, right? But feel free to ask questions in the chat in the meanwhile. So here's some features of the Bachelor's in Information Technology, and this is with the University of Bedfordshire. So our program is globally accessible. It's work applied. It's much more practical as well. It's accelerated in terms of the time that you would take to complete the program. It's very, very affordable. It's an affordable investment, right? And you get returns on that investment when you get employed, of course. And it's fully accredited. Some of these points I've touched on before, but we're going to go in detail through each one. So let's look at fully accredited. This program is accredited by the Quality Assurance Agency, which is more or less the equivalent to what ECTT is in Trinidad. That's the equivalent to what they have in the UK. So the Bachelor's in Information Technology offered with the University of Bedfordshire is accredited by the Quality Assurance Agency, or QAA, in the UK. The University of Bedfordshire was subjected to QAA for review and has successfully met all of the expectations. Hence, it is accredited and recognized. And the University of Bedfordshire is recognized as well by ACTT as an awarding body, right? So they are recognized by both QAA in the UK as well as ACTT in Trinidad and Tobago. This is what your Bachelor's in Information Technology certificate would look like. I thought I'd give you guys a sneak peek, right? So you would have of course, University of Bedfordshire logo on the top, right? You have your official seal there and your information by which, you have your name there. You have the honor as well, the class. The student achieved first class honors in the Bachelor's in Information Technology, and the date is also listed there as well, right? Certificates, and this is a certificate. We have transcripts as well that you would receive, and of course, there's a letter that you would usually get from the University of Bedfordshire as well, all packaged together. So you get a certificate, your transcripts, and a letter from the University of Bedfordshire. So let's look at the aspect where we're gonna dive into in terms of globally accessible. More than 20,000 students from over 120 countries have access to the program. Education partners in China, Middle East, Europe, Southeast Asia, and Trinidad and Tobago have access to our content. And of course, online learning, we have an online learning platform. Once you enroll within the Bachelor's in Information Technology, you're accepted, you're registered, you get access to an online learning environment, which is Brio, and it's available for students 24/7 from anywhere around the world, right? You are given your student ID and you have the ability to log in. And that's really where you will get all of your content. You'll be submitting assignments and so on, right? There's also a student information desk that's open 24/7 to support students from anywhere in the world. And of course, we here at Cts College, we take all of the information that's usually provided by the university and we localize it. So in the event that something happens with their website, the content is usually there for you all anyways, right? And we have recordings, we have books, we have materials for all of the levels, level 4, level 5, level 6, and you get access to this when you get enrolled in the Bachelor's in Information Technology, right? We also have samples of previously submitted assignments as well, so that you can gauge yourself into looking at how it was done previously and, of course, making it much better. Or you have recordings from previous semesters where lecturers did tutorial sessions and so on, so we can always look back, right? And of course, once you actually score like really high, we tend to use your sample on our CTS local shared drive so that students in the future can actually use your work for reference, right? So once you also get access to the shared drive, and let's say that you enroll at level 4, you're not only going to get access to the level 4 stuff on the shared drive, you're going to have the ability to look at the level 5 work, look at the level 6 work as well. And you should also have the ability to sit into the level 5 classes and the level 6 classes, even though you are registered for your level 4 units. It's just really for you to have a bit of insight into what will be covered in level 5. The opportunity is yours, right? We provide all the links for all of the classes, access to all of the content for all of the classes. When we talk about practical, right, this Bachelor's in Information Technology definitely prepares you to solve real IT challenges, real IT problems, finding solutions for them, right? So you get hands-on experience in developing IT systems. You have experience in delivering IT solutions that supports a wide range of business functions, right? And of course, you learn to develop systems with excellent design through understanding human-computer interaction required in modern IT systems. So a plain example of that is where this student actually utilized a given problem. This is a given problem in Trinidad and Tobago. They decided to create a fleet management solution for the public transportation service in Trinidad and Tobago, that being PTSC. So they are taking a given problem and proposing an IT solution, a real IT solution to solve that problem. So that's what we mean when we say practical. By the end of this bachelor's degree, these are the things that you will be doing throughout, and you have the ability to do after when you actually step out into the workforce. In terms of accelerated, when we talk about accelerated, we're talking about how fast you can complete this program. So each level consists of 4 units, which can be done in 2 semesters or 8 months, right? I'm going to run through a bit later in terms of how the semester runs, the break period are allocated, and so on, right? So each level consists of 4 units, which can be done in 2 semesters, right? So you have 2 semesters, and you have you're going to be studying 2 units per semester, but all in all, it's 4 units, right? And it takes you roughly 8 months to complete a level. And you have the ability to complete your bachelor's in just over 2 years if you start at level 4. If you start at level 5, obviously you're going to complete in a lot less time. And if you start at level 6 directly, you're going to complete the program in just 8 months, right? And we do have entry requirements as well, so that you can step into each one of the level, but you must meet the requirements as well, right? So when we talk about affordability, the Bachelor's in Information Technology offered through Cts College with the University of Bedfordshire is one of the most affordable bachelor programs in Trinidad for IT. Our payment plans make achieving your bachelor's a financially viable option. So we have payment plans monthly. You could pay for the semester upfront as well. You could pay for the entire level, right? But a lot of persons take advantage of our monthly payment plans, which we will run through a bit later. We also partner with institutions such as JMMB to assist students in obtaining student loans. So how that works is basically you indicate to us, and then you go to JMMB, you apply for your loan, right, for the student loan, and they pay us, and then you would pay them according to their terms. But a lot of students don't even go down that road because of the fact that we have payment plans, which really works so well for a lot of students. They don't even have to take loans with us, right? And the way that we usually do stuff is that we constantly keep in contact with the student, trying to find out when next, okay, you do happen to miss a payment, that's totally fine, right? We can always arrange so that you can pay off by a later date. So we are by all means trying to make sure that we facilitate you in every way possible when it comes to payment of fees, right? So moving forward, how is our program structured? A bit more about the program itself in terms of each level. So as I mentioned earlier, there's a level 4, there's a level 5, and there's a level 6, right? The BSc in IT is made up of 3 main levels, that being level 4 or year 1, level 5 or year 2, and level 6, which is year 3, right? And for any given level, you have 4 units or 4 subjects or 4 modules, and these are core modules, meaning that you must complete them before you move on to your next semester or you move on to your next level, right? So in terms of the entry requirements, Level 4 is ideal for CAPE holders or persons with 2 years IT work experience. So if you have a CAPE qualification, that is the official CAPE certificate, you can get straight into level 4 without providing work experience. Or you can use your CAPE together with 2 years plus of IT work experience, or you can have IT certifications that you can pair with your IT work experience to get into level 4. Or you can have 3 years general work experience, nothing relating to IT, but you also need to provide your CSEC qualification in order to be considered for level 4, right? For level 5, you must have a level 4 IT diploma or equivalent, or of course, at least 2 years plus in IT work experience. And if you have IT certifications like A+, Network Plus, and so on, right, you could be considered for starting directly at level 5. Right, so you basically exempt yourself from having to do level 4 if you provide IT certifications, if you have work experience to back your experience as well. So there's no need to do level 4. You can go straight at level 5 and complete a bit faster. Now, a person starting directly at level 6 must have an associate's degree in IT and HND, or a level 5 IT diploma, or at least 6 years IT work experience and IT certificates as well to back that, right? So we have a lot of applicants starting directly at level 6. That's the main area of interest because they're seeing it as an opportunity to complete a bachelor's degree in 8 months and get the certificate, right? So these are typically the entry requirements. I'm going to run through this a bit later as well. Right, so is everyone clear on how the levels run, the entry requirements at this point? Any questions, concerns? All right.
Hello, good day.
Hi,
Can
good
you
day.
ask a question?
Sure.
I called sometime and I was told that there's another pathway before you get into level 4, doing some courses before with you all. Are you going to discuss that as well?
We had a bridging, that but particularly what you're discussing would likely be the bridging program, but it's not currently offered. Now that we have the new system in places where students can start directly at level 4 if they provide their CSEC qualifications and if you pair that with work experience. So that's what we currently have. Or you have the option of doing some of the IT certifications that we offer here at Cts College and using that to apply for the bachelor's as well.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
I would, yes, I would gladly revisit this question at the coming down closer to the end of the session as well, right?
Thank you, sir.
Of course, not a problem. All right, so thank you so much for your question. I would get back to that a bit later. So let's have a look at the structure if you're starting at level 4 and moving all the way throughout the program until you finish at level 6, right? So this is person starting straight at level 4, moving up to level 6. So specifically, level 4 is broken up into 2 semesters of 4 months each. Semester 1 is 4 months, semester 2 is 4 months. So it takes you roughly 8 months to complete level 4, right? And then you should be moving on to level 5, which has 4 months each. Again, takes you roughly 8 months to complete level 5. And then level 6, again, 2 semesters, 4 months each, and takes you roughly 8 months to complete that. Right? But university has introduced 2 semester breaks in between each level, right? A semester break would apply to you once you complete a level. So let's say that you complete level 4 and you're moving on to level 5, you would now be required to take a semester break before moving on to level 5. And when you start level 5, you finish level 5, you're moving on to level 6, there's another semester break there, right? And that semester break is typically 4 months long. So 8 months, then 4 months break, 8 months again, 4 months break, and then 8 months to complete. So all in all, it takes you roughly 24 months, 2 years of studies. That is 8 months by 8 months by 8 months for the 3 levels, level 4, 5, and 6. So that roughly works up to be 2 years of studies and really 8 months of break. So it takes you roughly 2 years and 8 months to complete the bachelor's in information technology if you start at level 4, going all the way up to level 6. Is this understood? I'm gonna also
Is there a break? Is there a break between
the semesters?
yes.
Yes, typically there's like a little 2-week break, right? Where we have to prepare our lecturers and stuff like that, the timetable and so on, but it's usually sent off coming down closer. So once you submit your final assignment for the semester, you can consider yourself finished with the semester, right? And results should come out within that little 2-week gap that there is between semester 1 and semester 2. And this applies throughout the entire program. So typically there's a little 2-week break in between each semester. So you have a little time to really recover and prepare for your next upcoming semester, right? And that's when you're progressing from semester to semester. When you're progressing from level to level, it's a bit different. You have a full 4-month break, and there's a couple of things that you could do within that break period as well, which we would cover in a bit. So I'm going to also cover moving straight from level 5 to level 6. It's a bit different, and it is done obviously a bit faster because you're starting directly at level 5. So how does that work for you? Level 5, again, you have your 2 semesters of 4 months each, 8 months to complete. And level 6, of course, your 2 semesters of 4 months each, another 8 months, but your semester break is placed in between these 2 levels, and that takes you roughly 4 months. So in total, you have 16 months of studies and 4 months of break, right? So if you start here at level 5, you had 16 and 4, that's really 20 months to complete the bachelor's in IT, all right? And if you start directly at level 6, of course, you have no semester break, and it takes you roughly 8 months to complete the program with no stopping, right? Well, of course, the little 2-week break in between semester 1 and semester 2 of their actual level, right? That applies for all throughout the program. So is everything understood? So we covered in terms of how classes will be allocated, well, how the semester basically runs if you start at level 4 in terms of the break periods as well for all of the levels. So you start at level 4, it takes you roughly 2 years, 8 months to complete. You start at level 5, it takes you 20 months to complete roughly. And if you start directly at level 6, it takes you roughly 8 months to complete the program, right? So what could you do during the 4-month break period, right? Remember that big break period in between here, that 4-month break period. What could you do in between that break period? Well, us at CTS College, we like to promote the idea of you occupying your time. We don't want you to lose your momentum while going through the program, because we have noticed that a lot of students, they perform really well, they go on break, and then when they come back, it's a bit hard for them to readjust to the fact that they need to get their stuff done, right? So just for the sake of them being fully prepared for the upcoming semester, we have suggested a bunch of IT certification courses as well as professional personal development courses as well. That would be much applicable to what you would be covering in the next level. So let's say that you finish level 4 and you're moving on to level 5. We usually recommend to students within that 4-month break period that you take some time, you study at CTS College, and you at least attempt the web design course that we have, as well as some graphic design. The reason why is because it would actually complement what you will be doing in level 5 later on. In level 5, you would be covering web technologies as well as user experience design. So it would be in your best interest that, you possibly take up the web design course that we have at CTS, as well as the graphics design course that we have. That would be Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop. All right. So it's a recommendation, but it's not necessary at all. It's really on you. And of course, within that break period, you have the opportunity of clearing any outstanding fees that you have from the previous level, the previous semester, before moving forward. All right. But the thing is, once you apply to do any short course or any ID certification course at CTS College, when you're within that break period, you are entitled for 40% off any course. So anything at all. It doesn't even have to be listed here. There's a whole list at ctscollege.com/certifications. You can see a full listing there as well. And any one that you want to do within that break period doesn't have to be the ones that we recommend here. You are entitled for 40% off. However, you must take up the course within that 4-month break period. And courses don't really go on for too long. I would say some of them 2 weeks, some of them 3 weeks, some of them a little over than a month, right? But you are entitled for that 40% off once you are a bachelor's in information technology student and once you're doing it within your break period, right? And of course, like I mentioned, you have the opportunity to also take some time, clear off any outstanding fees that you had from the previous semester if it's applicable to you, right? So it's really up to you what you like to do. But again, it's a recommendation, and it really works out well for students who actually do these courses during their break period. So they don't lose their momentum and they are better prepared for the upcoming semester. So it's a win-win situation, more or less, right? And of course, your 40% discount is valid. So in terms of what you would learn, what you would cover, this is what you would learn. So for level 4, typically we have students doing introduction to networks, which is a core part of one specific module, right? And you'll be doing that through Cisco Networking Academy. And after you complete that, you'll be getting an official, like a certificate of completion, as well as a badge that you can use for your LinkedIn profile. And this is an official badge issued from Cisco NetAcad, right? So you can use this on your LinkedIn profile and so on, right? And it's verified. And of course, you'll be working with SQL databases, a lot of work into understanding the concepts of databases, right? We're laying down the foundations in terms of SQL, which is the structured query language, which is basically the language used when we talk about databases, right? You use that to write queries and basically get information out of your database. And of course, you would also work with Oracle and basics into Java, as well as you're going to have the ability to build build an application using the Java programming language and build an application using Python programming language. You're also going to utilize Oracle to host databases as well, right? So for level 5, you're going to dive into user experience design, which I just mentioned, and I also recommend that you do the course for, right? You're going to cover user experience design and how the design would work on different devices. You're going to also understand how software and hardware can work together, how to develop systems secure by design, and the approaches that can be used to test software. Also, this part of the key part of level 5 is employability. So there's a project called the IT Employability Project. It's rather a module than an actual project. This prepares you for the interview room and assisting you in mapping out a possible career path. So we're trying to be a bit more holistic here. At the same time, while you are learning IT, you must be able to take what you learn and tailor a resume, tailor a cover letter, and actually go out there and apply, right? Because that's the whole purpose that you're doing a bachelor's degree, more likely to get into a much better position with regards to IT. So part of the modules, or one whole module, directly relates to assisting you mapping out a possible career path in information technology. That's a wonderful module. I think you'll have a great time doing that one. In terms of level 6, you will be doing independent learning through project work and research techniques on new technologies. And specifically during this period, you will produce a completely working software artifact accompanying an accompanying technical report on your actual software artifact and improving your project management abilities in terms of IT. So there's a whole module pertaining to project management, and design an interactive software prototype with a user experience design emphasis using Azure. So you have the ability to work with Azure, right? And the bigger part of level 6 would be the module that is the undergraduate project. The way how level 6 classes are structured is a bit different. So when we do get to level 6 and how the classes are structured, you'll see the difference and you'll understand why. Because of the undergraduate project, it's a lot of work in terms of programming, in terms of preparing your technical report and so on, right? So we have classes allocated for both the new and continuing students so that they can sit into the classes and be better prepared, specifically for the new students too, right? So these are some of the projects that level 6 students were able to produce, and students throughout the entire program as well. So this is an example. This is another example. This is an example, but on a mobile phone. So it's the same project. It's a digital wallet, actually, right? A student was actually able to produce, and he made it accessible on both the PC platform as well as mobile device platform. So Android, iOS, etc. Right? And this was completely developed through his research and through, guidance from the lecturer in level 6. right? This is another example of a project. This project is basically much similar to what Amazon would be. So it's like an e-commerce website where the person offers products for sale, right? So you see add cart, add to wish list and so on, much similar to what you would see on Amazon or eBay or so on, right? And the student also implemented a chatbot. So if you need support while using the student service, you should be able to ask questions, get help. So you'll think it's quite amazing that students were able to produce such high quality projects after doing the Bachelor's in Information Technology at the end. You all think this is really cool, right? I mean, if I was doing this program, I definitely want to be able to do this. Yeah. And you will be able to, don't get me wrong, once you get into level 6, you have the opportunity now to produce something like this or even better than this, right? So the opportunity is there for everyone. And I think that you all would perform just fine as well, given the support services we have. Yeah. So this definitely is very, very interesting to think that our students are able to produce stuff like this. So moving forward, how could you fit the Bachelor's in Information Technology into your life? Because we have persons, look, we have persons now coming out from secondary school applying for level 4. We have persons coming out, well, not coming out, but returning to study after a long period of not engaging in any educational activities. And then, of course, we have persons who are working and also looking to study, right? And how do you gauge yourself to properly, well, to make sure that you cover all of your classes, everything is absolutely fine with you? Let's look into that. So we have 3 intake periods, right? The June one, stick up in there because that may or may not be available for entry as of next year, but this year it's currently running right now, right? So we have 3 intake periods per year, and every 4 months a new intake period starts. So we have the February semester, we have the June semester, the October semester, or rather the February intake, the June intake, and the October intake. So roughly 3 semesters per year. Yeah, so this is how our units or our subject is delivered. For every subject or every unit, for every class that you have, it's a 2-hour session. So typically students study for their semester, they would study 2 out of the 4 modules that they have to do for the entire unit, for the entire level. They would only study 2 per semester, right? And for each one, they would likely have their class, and every class is 2 hours long, right? The units are assessed by typically 2 to 3 assessments throughout your semester, right? So if you're studying 2 units, you will have 2 projects or maybe an assignment and an exam to do for your module or your subject. And semesters would be typically 15 weeks long, and you would have, like someone posed that question as well, you would have like a 2-week break at the end of the semester before the next one begins, right? So you have enough time to clear off any little fees that you have and start making payments towards your second semester beforehand, right? So that's basically how you would typically fit that into your schedule. So let's have a look at the timetable aspect of it specifically, right? No, exams, you're not paying for exams. Like I mentioned, like all of the content, everything that you need to prepare is absolutely free as well. No books or anything like that, absolutely free. Exams, you don't need to pay for it, right? You have to pay basically your exam fees for the University of Bedfordshire. So it's included there. There's no additional fee for taking an exam. And if you do happen to fail an exam, there's like no typically additional fees or anything like that to pay, right? But when you're repeating, you would still have to pay the university fee for actually sitting in and taking the module, right? But you don't, in addition to the fees that you already have to pay, you don't have to pay any extra for your exams, right? So this is how our classes are structured. The very first area, the very first few rows there for new and continuing students in level 4, which you should see here. Let me just get something so you can see. The new and continuing students in level 4 typically has classes on Saturdays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. The Saturday classes would cover the database portion, right? And the Tuesday classes would cover the principles of programming, which would be your Java programming stuff. And well, your classes on Wednesdays would be the computer system structure networking aspect, right? So we have one unit being broken up into two different classes, databases and networking. Based on the stuff that I showed you guys, what will be covered, right? You'll be doing networking, databases, and programming, right? So you will have likely three days of classes per week. And once your class falls on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, it would likely be in the afternoon period from around 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. or 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., 2 hours long. That's a standard with CTS classes. And on Saturdays, it would be during the day from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Yeah? Understood? So that's for students for the next semester starting in October. These are your class times, all right? For new and continuing students in level 5, if you're applying to start in level 5, both of your classes would be on Saturdays, right? So you'd have basically one full day of classes, and I wouldn't exactly call it a full day, it's just roughly 4 hours back to back. So your first class would be Web Technologies next semester in October, and that class starts promptly at 10:15 a.m. and lasts until 12:15 p.m., right? So that's 2 hours. And then there's a small intermission of half an hour so you can go for lunch. And then, of course, you would return at 12:45 p.m. for your second class, and that runs until 2:45 p.m., right? So each class, again, 2 hours long, right? And that's your entire week for level 5 students, right? So all of your classes are on Saturdays. For students in level 6, this is how the classes are structured, and it's a bit different. So typically new students in level 6, typically you all, right, you would have 2 classes, and those 2 classes would be on Saturdays, right? And those 2 classes, the first one would be 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. That's social and professional project management. And you have another class at 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., which will be research methodologies and emerging technologies. Again, there's a small intermission between each class, which is a half an hour, so you can go for lunch and so on, right? But this is typically for new students in level 6. For continuing students in level 6, you would have 3 classes, and this does not directly apply to you, but what we usually recommend, the reason why it's structured like this is so that everyone can get access to that undergraduate project classes. Those 2 classes are very important. We have a programming class and we have assignment tutorials, right? So even though you're now starting and you're new, we recommend that you sit into these as well to gauge yourself a bit better for preparation for your second semester, because there's a lot of work to get everything prepared just in that 4-month period for your second semester in level 6, right? So that's why the classes are structured like this. But note, even if you do sit into the other classes in level 6, you would not be invoiced for them. You're only invoiced for these 2. Right, so you're only paying for the 2 subjects that you are really registered for, but you have the ability to sit into the other classes so you can get a bit more insight into what would be covered and what you need to do and better gauge yourself to complete your project. Understood? So this timetable has been being, sent off to you all ever since we started getting in contact with you all, right? So you should have a copy of this. If you would like one, feel free to message me and I would have it sent across to you. All right. So these are our dates. Now the registration deadline would be September the 3rd. Our induction dates would be the 24th and the 28th of September. The semester starts on October the 1st, which would be a Saturday, and the semester would end next year, January the 14th, anticipated. All right. So that's typically the timetable aspect of it for the October to Jan semester. Everyone clear on it? Excellent. So what support is available? I mentioned earlier that we built our name on student support. So definitely, we have a lot in store when it comes to support. Now, in terms of face-to-face and phone support at Cts College, we have course advisors, course information and support information. We also provide support with your application, completing and applying and guiding you through the entire process of you completing your application, being accepted and so on. We guide you through everything in terms of courses. In terms of academics, we have our induction sessions, which I mentioned would be on y'all can recall? Does anyone remember when the induction sessions fall? Let's go back. Make sure you guys have that. So it would be on the 24th, and the 28th. So this would be a Saturday, this one would be a Wednesday, and then you have your start of the semester the following Saturday, right? So the 24th and the 28th. So we have academic support in terms of the induction, and we have one-on-one. So like if you have problems whilst doing your assignments and you need that one-on-one session, feel free to reach out to me or my Mr. Aaron Nare. So if we can't help directly, we will arrange sessions so that you can get the help that you need, right? But it's done at no additional cost as well. In terms of administrative, if you need any help with letters or like any inquiries about the program or any assistance with regards to anything relating to the bachelor's in IT, we are also here for you at CTS College. All right. We have online support as well. So this here is Brio, right? Brio is the university's online learning platform where you will be submitting assignments. You will be getting access to this once you become a student of the University of Bedfordshire at CTS College, right? So you'll be given study materials, study support guides, grade, you'll be getting your grades there as well, right? The module leaders at the University of Bedfordshire would be marking your papers and issuing grades accordingly on Brio. So you'll have to log in there to see your grades as well for your assignments. You also get feedback as well. So it's not just simply grading your work and leaving you like that. They usually leave a lot of feedback to help you understand where you went off and why you didn't get the mark that you think you would get, and how to be properly prepared for the next iteration as well. And of course, you have, well, mentioning the submission of assignments. So all of your assignments are submitted on Brio, right? Whether it's an exam, you do your exams on Brio as well, with exception of the level 4 module, the networking aspect, that's done on Cisco Networking Academy, right? So that's the only exception there. And you, through the having access to university content, you also have access to the online library provided by the University of Bedfordshire. You have access to journals, readings, papers, and well, complementary resources through the university's website. And in addition to this, once you get access to the online learning platform Brio, you are also given a student email, right? And it's very important that you keep track of everything that runs through that email. And you can actually use those credentials, your password for Brio, together with your university email, and you can log into other online libraries like ACM Digital Library and so on. You can get into ResearchGate as well. So when you're doing your modules, you need research material. You can use your credentials to log in through the university. So you perform a university login and you get exclusive access to papers that you usually have to pay for, right? So that's an upside as well, right? So you have access to the world of content once you're a student here. What support is available in terms of us, our support team, the Bachelors in Information Technology support team consisting of Mr. Raghunath, Aaron, and myself? Well, we provide information, we provide help one-on-ones, we provide assistance one-on-ones, we have guidance as well. So if you call, you need assistance in terms of trying to figure out where to go with the whole idea of like starting the Bachelors in Information Technology, maybe you need a bit of career advice, we are also here for that as well, right? We try to do everything in competence. We try our best to provide solutions to your problems at all points in time and point you towards the right way as well, right? So mentioned induction, you are introduced to the course during the induction period, and there's two, which is the 24th and the 28th respectively, and you must make sure that you attend both of them. The first session, you are introduced to the course and the structure. You are also given a referencing guidelines, which is a very important thing. In fact, that's why we have a second session within the induction, right? So the first one that's done on the 24th will give you general insight, but the one done on the 28th, which is the Wednesday afternoon, that one specifically focuses on Harvard referencing. What is Harvard referencing? Basically, it is a standard by which you reference materials that's not your own. If you don't reference properly, it will be considered as plagiarism. So more than likely, when you're doing research projects, you would be required to obviously perform research. And once you use anything from that research in your work, right, you must give proper acknowledgement. You must show acknowledgement that this work is not your own. It was taken from such and such paper written by whoever, right? And there's a standard by which you write that and the way that you do that as well. So that's why it's very important we establish that early. So once you start doing your research projects and so on, right, you already know how to properly reference and cite and so on, paraphrase and all of those, and how to prevent yourself from being flagged for an academic offense, right? So you are given referencing guidelines as well. And throughout the session on Saturday, the very first session, you would gain useful study tips and skills to succeed throughout your stay at Cts College doing the Bachelor's in Information Technology. And we also, well, the academic writing workshops would be basically a part of the Harvard referencing session done on the 28th, which is the Wednesday. All right. So again, make sure that you attend both of your induction sessions, and these induction sessions would be recorded as well. So if you do happen to miss it, that's fine. But we usually call to make sure that you did attend, well, you did at least, you know, review the recording, or you have intentions of reviewing the recording at least. All right. So moving forward, how would you be assessed? Now, students are usually assessed in a variety of ways. Most units or most modules or most subjects are assessed through coursework. You have group and individual projects. You have portfolios, essays, presentations, and exams. Again, I'm mentioning that exams are usually kept on a minimal. You would have maybe 1, 2, 3 exams in level 4 and 1 exam in level 5. Level 6 has no exams. And the exam aspect of the module itself, it doesn't really amount to much. So it would really amount to like maybe 30% of the entire module, whereas the other project assignment 2 for the module would be either group work, portfolio, coursework, individual work, whatever it might be. That might be the 70% of the entire module. So even though the exam is there, it would be limited to like a couple of questions. And of course, it's done on Brio, and it does not really amount to much for the entire module, right? So it's really, really easy to figure out. And the university tends to do it this way, so that I'm typically thinking that they do it this way because usually when students have to prepare for an exam, they would usually study, they write the exam, but the information that they studied or likely that they crammed would just be shelved. They're not going to do anything with it. So we assume that they tend to give a lot more projects so that you can actually do and learn and perform rather than just study for an exam, right? So constant feedback and advice from lecturer and the BSc IT team will also be provided. So let's just say you need assistance to prepare for your exam if you're writing an exam. We have practice papers, we have guidance sessions as well that we would usually arrange from time to time within the semester so that you can get prepared, right? Likewise, if you have an individual project or report or portfolio or something that you have to actually write and work on, we also review that as well. The BSc IT team together with the lecturers, right? And we work as a team. So we work directly with our lecturers to produce the best possible solution for the students' problems. All right, so that's in terms of how you will be assessed throughout the program. And we're going to look at passing units and progressing. Well, basically to pass a unit or pass a module or a subject, you must attempt all of the assignments. Doesn't matter if you pass one or you fail one, you must attempt all of them, right? Unless you are unless specified otherwise, right? In order to pass a unit though, you must gain an aggregate grade of 40%. That means that for the outcome of your assignment 1 and the outcome of your assignment 2 for the module must total up to more than 40%. Anything lower, if you get 39%, is considered as a marginal fail, and you would have to do a referral for the assignment for the module. You'll have to repeat it, and you'll also have to pay for that, right? So to progress between levels, level 4 to level 5 to level 6, you must at least pass with 90 credits for your 3 units with a grade of 40%, and you must attain a grade of at least 35% in your remaining 30 credits, right? So you must at least pass 3 or 4 modules in order to move on. And the module that you didn't really do good in, you must at least have 40% in that in order to move on. Otherwise, you will have to do a referral assessment for that module. All right? Y'all understand? Yes, specific time to submit assignments, or could you do it once it's before the semester finishes? No, there is a specific time, and there's deadlines. Your first assignment is usually due for like each module that you'll be studying, for the 2 modules that you'll be doing for the semester. Typically, maybe a month inside, or maybe like a month and a half inside your first assignment will be due. It could be a bit before, specifically for the June semester, because the June semester is a bit shorter. So you would find yourself being a little bit overwhelmed in terms of the due dates. But for the October to Jan and the Feb to May, in terms of the due dates, it's much easier for you to manage, right? But for each assignment, you'll be tracked you'll be tracked along the way, right? So you will have deadlines for your assignment 1, assignment 2 for one module, and the assignment 1 and assignment 2 for your other module, right? And then, well, the second assignments typically would be coming up closer. Well, it would be due closer to the end of the semester. So once you submit that final assignment, the assignment 2 for both of your modules, consider the semester finished for you. All right. So it's not like at the end you submit everything. It's going to be tracked throughout the semester. So you have to have your stuff prepared by a certain time. And if you don't think that you have everything prepared by a certain time, you can also apply for an extension through filling out a mitigation form and providing substantial reasons why. You also have self-certification reasons. You are limited to only 3. So let's just say that you're really stressed out and there's no particular reason you just can't make, right? You can actually fill out that with the intention of getting an extension. Or of course, if you have if it's for medical reasons or so on, right, you need to provide the medical documents as well to support the mitigation form, right? But that would not be considered as a self-certification mitigation. It would be considered like a mitigation with an actual reason, like for medical purposes, right? Medical reasons. Excellent. All right. So in terms of awards, so award classification, we have first class honors, we have upper second class, we have lower second class, and of course, third class honors. And how do you figure out which category you fall into? Well, first class honors, when you complete your bachelor's in IT, you get your actual certificate, the degree itself, right? You get a first class honor by having an average of 70% and more, right? Upper second class honors are basically awarded to persons with an average of 60 to 69%. Lower second class would be 50 to 59%. And of course, third class honors would be 40 to 49%, typically. As of recently, February, for our February semester this year, we received 43 students with first class honors. That's our entire class for level 6 got first class honors. That's 43 students. For October 2021, we had 21 students getting first class honors, and we had 4 students getting an upper second and 1 student getting a lower second, no student with a third class honor, right? And if you notice, the upper second and the lower second are very minimal, whereas the majority of the class gets first class honors, right? So those are our recent results for this year so far, and students are performing excellent. There's a lot of cool projects that the students have been working on as well. And I can't wait to include them here to actually show our interested persons what you could possibly be able to produce once you run through this program. So what resources would you need for your classes? Well, the college would have Wi-Fi access available to students, as well as core textbooks available on the Bachelors in Information Technology shared space, the Google Drive, which I mentioned earlier. But classes, this is more for the case of classes being face-to-face, right? But typically you would need access to internet in order to attend your classes and to access materials and so on, right? So you must have a good working computer and access to Wi-Fi. And if you're asking about specifications for your computer, there isn't any baseline specifications, but I guess you would want something that can handle light programming, right? For level 4 students. And well, there's no typical requirement. Nothing specified by the university either, right? So I guess this is where you would use the discretion to figure out which computer would be probably best for you doing programming and doing your assignments and so on, right? But it should typically be anything, but you want something generally with enough processing power and memory and storage as well, right? So that is according to your discretion, but most definitely make sure that you have access to a Wi-Fi connection. Excellent. So moving forward, where would you graduate? Now, you have the ability to graduate with us at Cts College. We host graduation at the end of each year around this December period, right? So once you complete at any one of the given semesters, you complete level 6, you have the opportunity to attending our graduation ceremony held at the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Port of Spain. You also have the opportunity to attend the University of Bedfordshire's graduation ceremony in the UK, but you'll have to go, that's at your expense, basically, right? So you have both options. So it's either one, whichever one you're much more comfortable with, but honestly, going across there, while it's a really cool experience, at the same time, you're graduating with people that you don't necessarily know, unless you go with some friends and stuff. So a lot of our students, they tend to just go to the Hyatt Regency Hotel where we host our graduation ceremony through CTS, and they really have a good time, right? So that entirely is up to you. And of course, once you complete, you will be followed up with in terms of organizing for your graduation. All right. So how do you qualify for the Bachelor's in Information Technology? I did actually run through the entry requirements a bit earlier, but I'm going to run through it one more time, seeing that we're coming down closer to the end of our session today, right? So for level 4, successful candidates should possess any one of the following: at least 2 years IT work experience, CAPE passes, any previous tertiary qualification, IT certification, CSEC with 2 years work experience or IT certification. You must pair your CSEC qualification. And when I say CSEC qualification, I don't mean the stuff that you would get online, like through the CXC portal. You would have to actually have your certificate, hard copy, scanned and sent to us together with your resume or job letters for that reflects at least 2 years work experience to be considered for entry into level 4. If you have CAPE passes, you get straight into level 4. If you have IT certifications without CSEC, you can still be considered as well, right? And of course, the work experience does not have to be particularly IT for entry into level 4, right? If you have any experience in any other areas, it's just really for data to track that you are active in the workplace as well as academically inclined, right? So that's entry requirements for level 4. Ideal for persons who have some IT work experience or have CAPE passes or tertiary qualification, or mature candidates with at least 3 years work experience, right? So you need to provide evidence of that work experience through the job letter. You need to provide your academic certificates as well, official stuff, right? IT certifications. You'll also need a copy of your ID or passport, some sort of identification. And we would also recommend that you include your resume as well. For entry requirements into level 5, year 2, you must possess a level 4 diploma qualification in IT, CAPE passes with 2+ years in IT work experience, combination of IT work experience and at least 2 years of IT at work experience with academic and or professional qualifications as well to be considered for level 5, right? So you can get in directly with a level 4 IT qualification or equivalent, a certificate or a diploma. If you did like stuff like A+, Network Plus, Security Plus, you provide those, you have a chance of getting into level 5 if you pay it with work experience as well, right? And again, it must be substantiated. Your application, that is, must be substantiated with the following: your job letter, your academic certifications, professional certifications, your ID for proof of identification, and of course, a copy of your resume, right? And of course, level 6, you must have your level 5 diploma or equivalent, your HND or your associate's degree in IT with a combination of IT work experience. Now, the associates, the diploma, the HND could be used standalone to get in. If you want, you can pair it with IT work experience, right? And at this, you must have at least 4 years in the IT field, though. And in terms of academic and or professional qualifications, you can also include those. Those would be really good. So this is ideal for persons who have completed a level 5 IT qualification or equivalent, such as a diploma, an HND, or an associate's degree. Persons with extensive IT work experience as well without qualifications could be considered, and persons who possess professional IT certifications could be considered as well if paired with IT work experience, right? So this one, seeing that is the final year, right? The entry requirements are a bit higher, like it's a bit higher standard. You must have experience within the field in order to get directly into here, right? So the evidence as well as specified on the others: your job letter, academic certifications, professional certifications, proof of identification through ID or password, either one, and of course, a copy of your resume. So that would be the entry requirements for levels 4, 5, and 6, respectively, right? So how do you go about applying? Well, you would need to complete the application form. We can also assist you in completing the application form. The application form will be also sent off. If you don't have a copy of it, it should be sent off soon after the session is completed to everyone. You also have to submit your CV, well, your resume and your ID. If you'd like as well, you can submit a letter from your employer confirming the job title and duration of the employment in that position. The letter should clearly specify it is a position, right? Submit or copy of your transcripts and certificates. If you have like unofficial transcripts and incomplete stuff, you can also submit that as well. It could be used to consider, but there's no guarantee. You also need to submit a copy of your IT certifications as well. So you're pairing your completed application form with your proof of identification, proof of job experience if you're using work experience to pair with your application, right? And you're using official certificates as well, right? And well, that's pretty much it. You pair all of those, you send it to us at bsc@ctscollege.com. We would review it to make sure you're missing nothing, and then we would pass it on to the university, and you should anticipate a response within maybe 2 weeks or so. They return to us with a letter of offer, basically. And from that point, you would have to make the decision whether if you're going to start right away in the upcoming semester or if you're looking to start at a future intake. Once you indicate to us accordingly, we would take it. So like if you choose to start, we would then follow up with you in terms of invoicing, getting you completely registered with the university, and then you'll be ready to start your classes on October the 1st, 2022. If you choose to defer into February next year, February to May, right, we would just hold on to your acceptance letter, and coming closer to that date, we would reach out to you to find out if you're ready to start, right? So step one would be the application. You apply through the application form, you provide your documents as was specified on the previous slide. We would send the application to the University of Bedfordshire, and you should get feedback within 2 to 3 week period. Once we get that feedback in the form of the acceptance letter or the letter of offer, you would now have to indicate by signing that reply slip, right, whether you're looking to start right away or if you're looking to start in a future semester. Depending on your response, if you decide to start right in the upcoming semester, we would invoice you, we'll guide you through the rest of steps in terms of registering, completing, getting access to the university's website and so on, right? And then you'll be all ready for the start of classes on October the 1st. And of course, make sure to attend your induction sessions. Can't stress that enough, right? So that's the steps between applying and starting. We also have WhatsApp groups. So in addition to having classes, we want to create a place for you all to interact, seeing that classes are online. And we don't want to take away from your experience as a student, because usually if classes were held face-to-face, you would have the opportunity to engaging with your peers and meeting your lecturers and so on. So that's why we have the CTS WhatsApp chats. This is for level 4, level 5, and level 6. You will be added to these WhatsApp chats at the start of the semester once you choose to start. All right. And our lecturers, we have students helping students as well. So like if students are experiencing problems, other students who would have previously completed like the module and so on, they can assist you in getting you up to par with what you need to do as well, right? So in addition to what we as the BSc IT team do, what the lecturers do, we also have the students providing support for us as well, because they understand, they want to be, they understand that what we're trying to do, they understand our vision, and they're trying their best as well to make sure that vision is kept at the top, all right? So that's pretty much it in terms of the steps between applying and starting. Any questions here?
Yes, sir. Payment methods. You can use a credit card and stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to get to that a little bit. Now, if you're using credit card, you'll have to conduct payments at the office. There's like no option for online in terms of the credit card payment, right? So let's run through the full cost of the Bachelor's in Information Technology per level. So for level 4, the number of units that you'll be doing is 4 for the entire level, but you're doing 2 per semester. right? They're not going to give you all 4 to do for your semester. So it's done, it's divided 2 by 2. So you do 2 in your first semester, 2 in your second semester, right? The CTS registration fee per semester stands at $500. So for the entire level, you'll be paying $1,000 in registration. Your CTS tuition would be roughly $2,000 per module, right? And you're studying 4 units or 4 modules. So that works up to be $8,000, and the university fee is paid in pounds, right? And that's payable to us. You don't have to pay through the university website or anything. You pay us. We have TT account as well as a GBP or pounds account. So you pay all the fees to us, and then we would pay the university, right? So you paying us is, well, us paying the university is more dependent on you paying us. If you don't pay your fees on time, it's likely that, you know, we're not going to be able to pay for you, all right? For level 5 as well, the CTS registration fee is standard throughout all the levels. It's $500 per semester. However, the tuition goes up in level 5, whereas it was in level 4, $2,000. It raises by $250, so it's $2,250 per unit. So that works up to be $9,000. And the university fee stands at £150 per module or per unit, and you're doing 4 units for the entire level. So that works up to be £600. Now for level 6, it's a bit different, right? Registration fee, similar. The tuition fee again goes up by $250. So now it's $2,500 per unit, which works up to $10,000 for all of your units. And then your university fees, whereas it was £150 per unit in level 4 and level 5, it's now £375 per unit, and that works up to be £1,500. All right, so that's the cost per level progressing through the bachelor's in information technology. All right.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
you're paying in pounds to CTS, and then CTS paying the university.
Yeah, so you could do that via bank draft. You could do wire transfer, which we don't really recommend, but there's another way that you can pay, which is a direct deposit. And that's only specific for, well, that's only accessible if you're a FCB customer, First Citizens, because our banking accounts are set up with First Citizens, right? So if you're a First Citizens customer, you can do a direct deposit into our account. So you have the equivalent TT. Let's say you want it to be £150. That's roughly at a rate of 10 to 1. That's $1,500, right? So we're going to take that amount in TT. You have that in your account. You go over the counter, you request a direct deposit into our CTS GBP account or our pounds account. You provide the account number, and they will take your TT from your account, do the conversion, and it goes into our account. That's like the fastest method. We also have the bank drafts as well, right? And that works out pretty well. So you do out the bank draft, it's payable to Cts College, and it must be protectographed, and you bring that into our main office in 120 Main Road, Montreal, Chaguanas, right? So that's
Okay,
typically how you
that's
pay.
it.
And then there's also the wire transfer as well, which we don't really recommend the wire transfer because of the fact that fees are deducted when it's transferred. So you initiate the transfer, it goes to an intermediary bank, and when it goes there, there's like a little transfer fee, not necessarily a little one. It usually deducts £30 or £40 accordingly to the amount that you pay. There's no, like, I'm not sure if there's any standard rates for deduction, but it is actually deducted. So the amount you pay through wire transfer, we would never receive. And it's not our fault, and it's not your fault. It's the intermediary bank fault. It goes to there, and then it comes to us, right? And through that process, roughly 20, 30, even £40 have been lost based on interaction with students, right? So that's why we tend to stay away from wire transfer unless there's no other option for you. Then unfortunately, we're going to have to work with that, all right? So a total cost, including the pounds as well as the TT fees that you have to pay, comes up to $56,000 for the entire program. That's a TT total there, right? So that's inclusive of the university fees, the pounds, as well as the TT. I converted the pounds there to the highest possible rate, which would be $10. I think right now it's at 8, right? So it would never be 10. It never surpasses that 10 mark, never, right? So I calculated, so it could never be more than $56,000 for the entire program. It could usually be a little less depending on when you purchase your pounds to pay, all right?
So,
Yeah.
Excuse, what I want to find out, right? If you paid for your first semester, right? And could you start paying for the second semester like monthly? Or you have to wait till you finish your first semester?
If you're looking to pay for it monthly, we would recommend that you wait. But if you're looking to pay for it in full, we can accept the payment in full, right? But usually you can continue to pay as well, right? We would never turn that down. We would actually encourage you to pay in advance, right? And it's usually logged and saved as credit on the account. And then once the semester starts, we complete the registration and we apply the credit to the account, right? So you can actually pay ahead of time as well, right? Okay, so moving forward from here, these are the payment plans that we have available. So for level 4, semester 1 and semester 2, at the beginning, the start of the semester, for semester 1, your registration fee is paid up front, $500 TT, and you have your you can continue to make payments of $1,000 throughout the semester for 4 months at the beginning on the end of each month, and you can pay £100 from the start of the semester. You're paying £100, 1,000 TT, and 500 registration, right? So your total for the month, for the start of the semester, for semester 1 would be 1,500 TT and £100. For the second month, it would be 1,000 TT, £100, 1,000 TT, £100, right? And you keep on working like that. So 100 by 100 by 100 works up to be £300, 4,500 TT for your semester. And that should conclude the payment for your first semester, right? According to the payment plan. And it's very similar to the second semester. So in total, you should have paid off, if you follow this plan very closely, you will be able to pay off for level 4, which is a total of 9,000 TT, £600. Yeah? Everyone clear on that? For persons starting at level 4, this is the payment plan structure. Excellent. All right. So moving forward to the level 5 payment plan structure. Again, the start of the semester for your first semester, 500 TT is expected, $1,125 towards tuition and £100 payment towards your university fee. So for your first month, in the semester at the start, you're going to be paying 1,625 TT and £100. For the rest of the months throughout the semester is 1,125 TT and £100 to clear up the pounds as well as the TT. And your final payment would just be 1,125, right? And that should really sum up to 5,000 TT and £300 for the entire semester. And the same process again is repeated for your second semester in level 5, which brings your level 5 total cleared to 10,000 TT and £600. So this is the payment plan structure for level 5. Everyone clear on this one? Excellent. Moving forward to the level 6 payment plan, this one is a bit different as well. So at the start of the semester, you're expected to pay your 500 TT registration for your first semester, 1,250 TT dollars, and then at least £250. So at the start, you're expected to pay £1,750 as well as 1,750 TT dollars, sorry, and £250 at the start of the semester, right? For the remaining months, you'll be paying 1,250 TT dollars for tuition and £250. Your final payment would be just $1,250, and that should really sum up at the end of the semester. You would have cleared all of your fees, 5,500 TT and £750. And this process is repeated for your second semester, which brings your level 6 total cleared to 11,000 TT and £1,500. Everyone clear on the level 6 payment plan?
Yes, sir.
Now, these are subject to change, but we tend to let you stick to this as much as you can. So if for some reason you do happen to miss a payment, we can be a bit more accommodating with you for your specific scenario. But you need, that's provided that you contact us, you let us know what's going on, and we have that communication at all times. All right? Excellent. So a lot of you all were wondering about our special offer because we did advertise that applicants could receive $1,000 off their tuition fees per level. That is typically $250 off each unit for the entire level, and the special conditions applied. So your first meeting the first requirement would have been to actually attend any one of our information sessions. And once you attend any one of our information sessions, that's where you'll get the rest of the special conditions. So in order to qualify for the special offer, $1,000 off, right, your student must complete their application form with all of the supporting documents before. For you all here right now, you must complete your application before next week, Friday, which is the 26th of August, and send it to bsc@ctscollege.com. And you must at least clear as much as you can of the registration, tuition, and the university fees in full by September the 16th before the semester starts on October the 1st, right? So these are the remaining requirements. And once you pay off, you'll be getting the $1,000 off for the entire level. Everyone clear on that? So again, make sure you already met one of the requirements as well, right? You already met one of the conditions. You're in the information session. So you must submit all of your documents by next week, Friday, and of course, make payment in full for the level that you're applying for the semester, right? You pay that off by September the 16th, and you should be getting the monies off. Not a problem, Darren. Let's just revert back to the level 5 structure, payment plan. All right. So again, just to run through really quickly, fam, we have a registration fee of 500 TT, CTS tuition fees paid monthly at 1,125 TT. You pay your university fee of £100. So for the total at the start of the semester, you'll be paying 1,625 TT and £100. For the next 2 months, you'll be paying 1,125 TT dollars and £100. And the 4th month, you should have cleared all your university fees according to this structure, and you'll just have a balance of 1,125 for the semester. And the total that you would have cleared for your semester would have been 5,000 TT and £300. The same thing is repeated for the second semester in level 5. So typically, if you're looking to pay for your semester upfront, this is the figure here for the semester, right? Same thing applies to level 6 as well. Sure.
So for the level 6, right? UTT diploma in software engineering would be considered level 5 diploma.
A UTT HND in what area?
Software engineering.
Yes, it could be used as an exemption. Well, when I say level 5 diploma, remember, it wouldn't make sense entering our program at level 5 if you already have a level 5 qualification. So level 5 qualifications exempt you from level 5, and you can start directly at level 6. So yes, you can apply for level 6 using that HND, right? And same thing applies for persons who starting directly at level 5. If you have a level 4 qualification, then why are you starting at level 4? You can start at level 5, right? So you exempt yourself from doing level 4, starting directly at level 5. Yeah. So anyone with a level 4 qualification or higher, you have the ability to start at any one of the higher levels. All right. I know a lot of you all had tons of questions. Anyone want to bring back up your questions? I haven't been looking at the chat. Sorry about that. Anyone has any further questions at this time, you can ask on the chat as well as unmute and let me know.
So like when you get access to the drive and thing, right? That is for only students currently active in a program, or like when you finish, you still have access to it as well too.
When you finish, well, that is it. Once you enroll, you're accepted, you start your classes, you get access. But once you finish, I'm not sure if I don't think we would remove you. You would have a lifetime access to the content and stuff that was brought across, right? On the university standpoint as well, I'm not sure if they cancel or if they stop like the university accounts, like if they disable it, I don't think so, right? So, not quite sure on those, but you should have access, most importantly, throughout your stay at Cts College doing the bachelor's in IT, right? Afterwards, you should have access to our shared drive, but I'm not sure with regards to the university resources if you'll have access to their website and so on.
So your shared drive would have the recordings for the CCNA class and stuff, right? The Cisco networking class.
Well, everything, all of our classes are recorded from level 4 all the way up to level 6. All of our classes are recorded. You can review previous recordings as well that were done in previous semesters. You have content from previous semesters as well, assignments, all of those as well.
Okay,
yes, Mr. Ward, so your hand went up.
Hi, quick question on the registration form that I was sent. It was saying that don't fill out unless you're registering for the June intake, but we're past June. I don't know if I got it mixed up, but
it might be a slight error. It might be a slight error, but which aspect of the registration form was that?
It was I need to go back to it, but I sent it to you all already, but it's to start in October.
Right. Yes, I will. If you don't mind, I'll follow up with you a bit later so we can go through if that's not a problem, right? I have your contact already. I know who you are.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
All right, not a problem. Thanks, Mr. Ward. Questions on the chat as well. Where can you find the recordings? The recordings of this session or the recordings of class sessions? Class sessions would be accessible on our local shared drive, the CTS Google Drive. Classes would be, you should have access to all of the recordings from all of the classes there, but this session specifically would be posted to our YouTube channel, and once I finish uploading it, it would be provided for you all. All of our attendees and non-attendees would have today's session, right? You can review, revisit, and of course, reach out to me at any point in time once you have any further questions. Yeah.
This BSc, right? I was looking on the USC, on the Bedfordshire website, and there's like a few IT degrees. I was wondering which one it is exactly now, if you have a link.
This one is information technology, and the stuff that you'll be covering is more programming, intro into networking, databases, and project management, user experience design, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Right? So this is information technology. This is not the computer science degree. All right, so questions on the chat. If you are currently in okay. If you have previous work experience and you have CXC, you can still use your previous by providing your resume. So there is a chance that you can actually get in just by using your resume and your CXC qualifications, right? So there's nothing to worry about. You can go right ahead and fill out your application form, provide whatever you have, and we'll use it to get you into level 4. All right, Sandra?
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And I got a direct message here from a student. What about a couple of IT certifications like Net Plus and Security Plus with CompTIA and 2 years freelance IT experience? More than likely, buddy, you're gonna be able to start directly at level 5 once you fill out an application form. You're providing the official certificate from CompTIA though, with Network Plus and Security Plus.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so you must provide the official certificate from CompTIA with regards to the Net Plus and the Security Plus in order to be considered as well, together with the 2 years freelance IT experience. That's absolutely fine. More than likely, you're getting straight into level 5 with that, right? Our program is not gate funded. We have not, well, the government has discontinued gate funding on all private tertiary programs as of, I think, 2017 or so due to the oil prices. So that's why we have tailored specifically for you all, because we know that might be a problem for a lot of persons looking towards paying off their fees and so on. So we're trying to be as accommodative as possible when it comes to payment. So we have the monthly payment plans as well, and students typically have no problem with regards to this. So it's much easier for them to clear their fees and so on, following through with the plan. All right, what types of programming? You will be learning Java, you'll be learning Python, right? And well, you would learn HTML, but HTML and CSS aren't really considered as programming languages, but you would be given insight to those as well. But primarily SQL, Java, Python, right? You'll also be working with Oracle and Azure and WordPress and so on, all right? But primarily it is definitely Java, Python, SQL, right? Okay, any further questions?
Hi, just to confirm, all right, good day again. I know you said if we want to start in February, we can still send in the application and y'all will just keep it on file, right? And y'all will contact us.
Yeah,
like
actually,
in January.
what we do is that we treat it as though you're applying for the upcoming semester so that it can be sorted out like really quickly. So even though you're looking to start in February, here's what we do. We basically document that you're starting in October so that the university can see about the application really quickly and get back to us with a response really quickly. So within that 2-week period, we already have your acceptance letter, right? That doesn't change the fact that you're going to start in February, because when you fill out that acceptance letter, stating that you're going to start in a future intake, right? We're just simply going to hold on to that. So basically, you're putting your foot inside of the program, and when you're ready to start, we would reach out to you to find out if you're willing to start in the upcoming semester. And based on your response, we'll take it from there. Right, but what we try to do is get the student accepted. If you know that you are interested and this is definitely something you want to do, then send us your stuff. There's nothing holding you back from sending us your stuff. The application process is absolutely free, right?
Okay, great. Thanks.
So
I'll do that.
No problem. Sandra, we used to previously offer a computer science degree, but with another university called University of Bedfordshire, but that's no longer being offered. We saw the benefits of doing the IT, the Bachelors in Information Technology, and it does cover key aspects in terms of operating systems, programming, and of course, databases, networking. So it does cover some of the major aspects of the computer science degree with extras. So it's much more holistic. That's why we shifted across to the Bachelors in Information Technology, because it more or less trumps what you would be doing. It gives you much more holistic development as well to pair with the technical skills revolving around IT, right? So in summary, no, we don't offer the computer science degree. We have stopped offering that a while back, and we're now doing the Bachelors in Information Technology, which is this one.
Okay, I was just curious. Thanks.
No problem. Any further questions?
No.
Okay, any further questions from anyone else?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello. With respect to if someone was entering year 6 based on work experience and, well, I guess work experience, consideration in the programming, because you had indicated that there's a project to be submitted. Basically, year 6 is different from the rest of the years. Is there a disadvantage if they don't know some of the programming languages with respect to like Java and Python? Is that going to be, is the tool that's going to be used to produce a project in year 6 along those lines to use those programming languages?
No, well, directly relating to this question, what you do in level 6, as a matter of fact, what you do in any of the higher levels is not dependent on the previous levels, because what the lecturers do is that they treat it as if you are new, you know absolutely nothing on the topic, and they take you from the bottom, go all the way to the top. I'm talking about tutorial sessions on a Sunday. We have lecturers willing to sacrifice their Sunday to make sure that you have everything with regards to your programming, right? And they do it all the time. We have support for everything, literally everything in every aspect, right? So we take you from the ground up if you're not sure, if you're not cognizant about programming initially, right? So we treat you as if you know absolutely nothing, take you from that point and get you to the point where you can actually produce a working application, right? You have tutorial sessions in place as well. So it's not dependent on any of the previously offered modules with programming specifically, right?
Okay, great, thanks.
No problem.
Oh, good day. Hi,
Yeah.
are you here? I am the person who asked about if you just have CSEC alone or waiting results, what you all have offered to get into the program, well, to do before you get into the program at CTS.
We have CompTIA A+. We usually recommend that you do the IT certification courses that we have because of the fact that it's, well, IT based and it's actually acknowledged, right? Now, the thing with this is that although you would complete the studies at Cts College for this IT certification, you would still be required to do, like, actually schedule a day to write your exam, and that's done directly with the awarding body. In this case, it would be CompTIA. So I recommend that the student usually do like A+, or maybe even Network Plus as well. But A+ is a really good starting point. That's more into lines of computer technician, right? And it's always advertised as the best possible start point for someone now looking to get into IT, right? Because there's basics into networking there as well.
So you all offer these courses at CTS?
We offer them. Yes, we do. We offer them. And I'll have to reach out to you regarding that one specifically. If you may, right, contact me after this session and we'll have a chat about it specifically for your case. But we can't have.
How do I contact you, sir?
Sure, no problem. Let me just leave this up on the screen in the meanwhile, right? You can reach me. I'm the last person on this here, but you can contact any one of these guys to get any information about the Bachelors in Information Technology program or any other programs offered at CTS College. But just note that we are more aligned to the Bachelors in IT. right? Certain qualifications that has to be met with CXC, no, meaning that you don't have to specifically have IT as or like on your actual CSEC certificate or CAPE or whatever, right? That's not a requirement. The grades 1, 2, 3, I think they have up to 4, 5, 6, whatever the case might be, right? Those don't really matter. What they need to see is the actual certificate, the year that you completed it, meaning that you have secondary education basically, right? So there's no specific qualification subjects that you must have at any certain grades when you're using CSEC to apply or CAPE to apply as well. Once you have the documents, consider yourself inside.
That's to do the TI
CompTIA.
A+ network you're speaking about there, right? Yes.
Well, for that one as well, because I was just answering a question someone had posed to me on direct message on the Zoom chat. But yes, the CompTIA has no specific entry requirements, so anyone can do that one. As a matter of fact, for most of the IT certification courses that we offer at Cts College, it's like you can get in, no questions asked, right? So it's just for anyone. And once you complete it, you get credible quality certification in that area.
So I probably now it's not your time, but I'll have to call you concerning these courses and how long it will take before you could start the degree.
Correct.
Myself.
And then again, he's also waiting to get results. So even if he wanted
Yes.
to apply, it will be very difficult because we need that official documentation in order for him to apply, right?
No, I'm not speaking about the degree. I'm speaking about the CompTIA, the A+.
Oh, the A+, yeah. I'll contact you with regards. Well, you'll reach out to me shortly after the session finishes. So I'll give you all of the information with regards to the
You are the
CompTIA.
last person, 286.
Yes.
286. Okay, so
Yeah.
yes, thank you. I appreciate that very much.
No problem. I think that I missed a couple of questions here earlier on because I saw persons sending stuff, but I do apologize. If you recognize that you asked a question earlier and I wasn't able to answer it, please feel free to send it again so I can address it, especially if it's something really, really, really important. Or you can call me afterwards once we finish up, right? Someone asked a question, Jada. Still completing your CSEC qualifications, would you be able to participate in the program or would you have to retry after your completion? Well, I would recommend that you finish up what you're doing there because this is no joke. This is a bachelor's degree in information technology. So it is going to take up a lot of time for you. So if you are still in secondary school, right, for informational purposes, you can have it. But with regards to actually applying and starting, it's not recommended because of the fact that you have studies ongoing and it's going to affect that. We don't want to interfere with that. And of course, you also need to have your official CSEC qualifications in order to apply for our program. So anyways, I'm not sure if you would be able to get through, right? So you'll have to complete that, get your certificate. And of course, at that point, then you would be able to apply and then you have a better chance in getting into the program, all right? So that's one question I may have missed previously. I'm looking through again just to make sure there's no other.
Understood. Thank you.
No problem. Okay. Anyone with any questions at this point? Anything further? Going once, going twice. Feel free to reach out to any, if you want, just take a screenshot of this here, this contact information, right? And you can reach out to any one of the contacts here regarding anything about the Bachelor's in Information Technology. All right. All right. Thank you so much, guys. That brings our session to an end, and make sure that you submit your documents before next week, Friday, to qualify for the special offer. That's the second requirement, of course. And I do hope to hear from you soon. And all applications, any inquiries, they go straight to bsc@ctscollege.com. I've been your host, Sanjeev, and it was so wonderful being able to chat with you all. And I'm hoping to hear from you guys soon. Take care.